Looks like I'm live. How is everybody? My name is SloaTheDemon. I was here previously, the one that died to Baby, if you guys, during the run. But we're not here for that. We're here for CrossCode, something I'm a little more, not rusty with. I will give everyone a full warning. I'm going to try and keep up and try and explain every trick, but this game goes extremely fast, so it's going to be very, very hard to keep up with it and keep up with the chat. So I apologize in advance. But anyway, timing starts on new game. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so immediately I'm just going to start mashing Y. And we're going to go in doing some small optimizations by hugging this right wall here. So this is just a kind of a tutorial part here that's just going to kind of show us how to play the video game. You know, typical, video game things. I know, great explanation. There's nothing really too much to talk about here, aside from that I am just totally failing. That's fine. So, as you can see, the dashing is the fastest form of movement. And then it's kind of showing us how to use arts right there. Which in non-any% runs is actually used quite a bit to do a lot of different skips and cool tricks that you'll see. But this is any %. Unfortunately, we won't see any of that. Instead, we're going to be seeing a lot of the menu glitch. If anyone is familiar with any CrossCode speedruns, menu glitch looks very complicated. I assure you it's actually fairly simple, actually. It looks very hard, but it's very easy. So, real quick, we're going to make a save right here. That will be used for later. Don't worry about it for right now. Right now I'm going to make 2 saves, and I'm going to do a menu glitch, and then another menu glitch, and then we're going to exit out. And then we're going to start a new game. Because who wants to play that one? Let's just play a new one. Right? So, we're going to come up here, and we're just going to transition straight right through here. And then we're going to exit out, because who wants to play that one anyway, right? Let's hit continue. And we're going to mash right there and do another save. This is what is known as blank save. So now we're going to do another save here, so we don't have to do this fight. And then we're going to hit continue. And now we're going to do what's known as the back of time. If my brain would stop farting. Okay. So what back in time does, it pretty much puts us in a position of another save, but keeps the kind of the progress of the previous save that you just loaded into. It's very complicated when you try to put it into words, but it's fairly simple actually. So what blank save do? Blank save allows us to get all 4 elements and essentially skip over all of the dungeons and such. New controller, I apologize. So this is what's known as a save warp. So if you save in the middle of a transition, you will, it'll look for another another transition, or another exit, quote unquote, is what it's called, and of a similar name, and it'll put you there instead. Don't ask me why. It just works like that. So we're going to do another one here. So basically, like I said, I was talking about before, blank save allows us to get all 4 elements. That's the main thing. But also, as you can see, we're able to play as Shizuka. If anyone's ever played CrossCode, you definitely know that. Yeah, it's this is definitely not the main character that you're supposed to be playing. So we're gonna So we're going to save and then right after that cutscene and then exit out and then re-enter. This saves about 14 seconds over doing the intended path here, because we can completely skip over doing a bunch of cutscenes and such. And go straight into the next part of the tutorials. Yeah, I was not like you don't get a chance to breathe. This run goes very fast. So here, this is just more tutorial stuff. So here, we don't want to. That I messed up. So here we just want to guard this, and then we just want to talk to him, and then we're just gonna bop him. We're just gonna one punch him. And if you guys like One Punch Man, you guys will definitely like this next boss. So we're gonna walk what is known as walking the crab. That is, this allows us to get one less jump from the crab before he goes into this phase. Okay, or he's just gonna troll me. That works too. So, yeah, we just one-shot that boss. And now, remember that save we made like a while back? Yeah, we're gonna back in time. Back to that save. And now we're at the teleporter room, and now we're out again. That completely skips over the escape scene. Saves about 30 seconds? 40 seconds? Something like that? I forget how much it exactly saves. It saves a lot of time. Okay, and so now we're going to shoot here, and we're going to do what's known as a long jump. Long jumps is pretty much if you attack while in the air, you're given the access to dash in the air, which is essentially gives us a little bit more distance and is able to get us into different areas. So now we're gonna do some more save warping. That one's a little more of a complicated reason. Pretty much the reason why I went into that door and then exited out. So save warp. Okay, I just messed that up. So save warps do is essentially, like I said, they take away from the exits. The thing is, it goes from whatever exit was previous one. It's really, like I said, it gets extremely complicated. The best way to explain it is, I go there to reset my exit that's stored, essentially. Oh, I just hit continue by accident. That's the short and easy explanation of it. It can get very muddy and very. So there's a very precise shot here. See if I get first try. I got a first try. Sweet. So we're gonna go back in here. Do another save warp. So this is what's known as save warp stacking. So you can basically take an exit and you can retain that said exit through other save warps. Which allows us to get very interesting results. Essentially getting save warps that you couldn't originally get can be made possible through save stacking. Or save warp stacking. So, you guys like watching bosses getting one-cycled, right? How about another one? So here, I'm going to make two saves here. This next part coming up is going to make us lose our back in time, which we don't want. So what we're going to do is we're going to back in time past this scene and essentially just skip over all this. So a lot of you guys are probably wondering, like, okay, so, well, what are the downsides of using Shizuka, which I'm sure none of you are actually asking that, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So the downsides of using Shizuka is that she has now abilities to use any of the arts. I just want to do that as safety, in case I mess this up. Except for there's like one specific ability that she is able to use. Actually, like 3, but you'll never see the other 2. And there's the back in time. I didn't need to do it from load. That's fine though. I will get a moment here to rest from talking about everything. Like I said, this run goes very fast, but there is one like moment of break, I guess you could call it, quote unquote, that I'll get. And that's coming up right now. So we're gonna do. So this is an example of what happens when you do a save warp, but it has no exit that's related. It puts you in the default position, which happens to benefit us to be able to for us to go here to Rhombus Square, which is an area that you're not able to access until at least Chapter 9. So what does this do for us? Well, this allows us to obtain items that we're not supposed to be able to get until Chapter 9, aka like in-game gear. Okay, and right now I'm trying to do what is known as the vendor glitch, if I can do it correctly. This glitch isn't that hard. I'm just failing really hard here. That's fine. All right, so right here, this is going to allow us to get infinite money. I can essentially make this go on forever, but we're only going to go about here. And then we're going to buy one of these. That's fine. It doesn't really matter which one we buy. They're all the same. And we're gonna do this again. And now we get a moment of rest. Whew. Jeez. So here we need about 800,000 total credits so we can buy everything. There'll be another break time, essentially. So yeah, we're just getting infinite money here. Let's go we'll just go to 9,000, just be super safe. So what we want to do is we want to buy like 21 of these. I'm just gonna buy 11 of these just for safety, and then we'll buy 11 of these. I just don't remember like exact numbers, so I just wanted to be like super safe there. And then we need one of these, 2 of these, 1 of these, and 1 of these. That's not what I meant to click on. That's fine. Ooh, okay. Back to the action. All right. So. How many peppers can go? Who knows? So I didn't actually need to go this way. I just need to go this way. I can completely skip over this part. There's supposed to be like this whole tutorial type thing that we're supposed to do. We're gonna skip over it. No point in going through. So now so here. Like the game is intending us to like go to like Berlin village, so we can go to the next like dungeon and all this fun stuff. But we ain't got time for that. This is any percent. This isn't like casual percent. Okay, this is any percent. We go fast here. So we're gonna menu glitch. We're gonna do another menu glitch. We're gonna save warp, and we're doing another save warp stacking. It's fast-paced contact. The speedrun is, like I said, is very high end. So we're gonna take a few of these guys here and there. Okay, that was just dumb. I shouldn't attack these seahorses. So we're just gonna take out some of these hedgehogs. They're not hedgehogs, hedgehags. Hedgehags. I can English. I can English, I promise. I'm gonna kill you just because I don't like you. I don't even care about slope. So you might see like kind of like glowing particles around me and stuff like that. That's because I'm doing what's known as it's elemental overheat, what it's called. So if you use an element for too long, then you will overheat and you will not be able to use it until it cools off. Kind of a side effect of it's kind of the developers decided that elements might end up being too powerful, so they kind of balanced them out by making it where you can only use them for a certain amount of time. And of course, as the speedrunners, we know how to get around that kind of stuff, but hey, I did it correctly for once. That's not necessarily a hard trick, nor does it really save that much time, but it's cool when you get it. It's hard to gauge that because the camera is not positioned correctly. Okay, so here I need to be careful. You can actually go too fast in this game and soft lock the Frobbit. At least in older versions you can. Okay, there's a long jump here. I'm like, there should be like no reason you should ever miss it with Shizuka, because Shizuka has a longer dash. I just keep messing it up. Okay, we're just gonna. There should never be a reason you miss it. Okay, that time I just thought I could make it with just a regular jump. That's fine. Yeah, there should never be a reason you miss it, but I'm commentating and trying to do the run at the same time, so it can be kind of hard. So this is a stupid switch skip. So you can just long jump from that rock and get the Frobbit to go. So I'll give you guys the lowdown of why it's called stupid switch skip. Not stupid switch skip, disagreeable switch skip. Because okay, so for a while, I took forever trying to get that hit the switch on it, and so I kept saying I disagree, and so Simp had showed me how to skip hitting the switch, and he said the disagreeable switch. I was like, so it's the disagreeable switch skip. That's essentially the lowdown of the name. That's why it's called disagreeable switch skip. Breathe? Nah. I gotta go fast. I can't breathe. Breathing is slow. Oh, okay. Okay, that is also slow. Should probably do that correctly the first time. Okay, so this is a little bit of puzzle solving here. It's unfortunately no way around it. Unfortunately, breathing is optional. So there's a really cool strat here we can do to skip over a fight by just literally just long jumping over here. So here we gotta push this block. Any other category is able to skip this, but not 80%. Again, this is the kind of downsides of not having It's my fault. Oh, I didn't make a call. Not having the arts abilities. Oh, okay. Again, new controller. Trying to get used to it. So if I mess up any tricks, I'm blaming it on the controller, because I literally just got this new controller today. So this is arguably one of the most frustrating fights in any percent, I would say. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I just messed that up. That's annoying. I would just say this is just annoying in any category, I would say. This is probably the most frustrating. Breathing loses frames. Alright, so here we're going to be fighting the Frabbit, which is one of the enemies, like, I would say is probably the most iconic out of... Wait, when did I get a salty ice cream? It must have been dropped by one of the enemies. I missed it. That's fine. He still died anyway. So this boss, I would say, is probably the most iconic of all of them. Mainly because he's like one of the only like actual enemies, or one of the bosses that we literally cannot skip no matter what. He will always be in the speedrun no matter what we find, because unless we find a way to get into early Gaia. So here the game's gonna be like, oh no, you broke the game, you soft locked the game, you can't. Don't worry, we didn't soft lock the game. We did get a glitch that it's really annoying, but I assure you, I know what I'm doing. It's just I would say it's an obscure game in general. It's a game's only been out for about a year, but it's definitely kind of gotten overshadowed by a lot of the other popular indie games, such as like Gris, like what else was there, like Gris, Celeste, stuff like that, because it did kind of come out like around-ish those times. Where am I going? I'm going the wrong way. So it did kind of like got overshadowed by other extremely praised indie games. So here we're gonna go on a raid. We're gonna go like join this this random guild that's decided to go on a raid. We ask them, hey, can we join you? They're like, yeah, sure. We just tell them, yeah, sure, we'll join in with them. But if you have not played this game, like, I 100% highly recommend pick this game up. It's $20. It's coming to Switch sometime this year. It's even coming to Xbox One. Like, there's no excuse to not play this game. Like, I 100% recommend this game to anyone. This game is criminally underrated, in my opinion. So there is the hardest block puzzle in the game right there. Super hard. It is on PC. That's currently what I'm playing on. It's coming to Switch. Like I said, it's $20. If you're looking for a brand new title to play, I highly recommend picking this game up. It is fantastic. And even if you're just looking for a new speedrun, this game's fantastic. It's a great speedrun. If I haven't already convinced you with my fast-paced, high-speed commentary while going super fast. Oh, it's 20th. Thank you. I couldn't remember when it was coming out. Okay, so this is kind of about as close as we'll get to an auto-scroller in this game. And for anyone that's curious if any of the glitches will still be in here, they will be on the Switch version. The developers have stated to us that they will not be patching it out. There will be certain ones that won't work. We believe, at least, due to the fact of how the glitches work. Yeah, I'm definitely picking this back up. I'm buying this again on the Switch when it comes out. Like, it is 100% worth picking up. Yeah, music is great. The combat is fluid and fun. It's simplistic, but it's like it works. If that makes sense. Like this game has it's very iconic for also having a lot of different references to a lot of other games. Like every time I get any time to ever talk about this game, you will never hear me shut up. This game just has blown my mind on how amazing it is. So this is why I say this is an auto-scroller, because we pretty much just have to sit through this until it finishes. Quite a bit of lag. That's fine. I'm not sure why it's lagging. It's probably just memory leakage on my computer. It's whatever. It's fixed for Nintendo Hearts. Yeah, I don't think there's like, unless you've played like the beta versions, there's not really too many worries about soft locks. A lot of the bugs have definitely been fixed. We even have New Game Plus coming out on the 13th, so which is really cool. Which is gonna have a lot of different interesting features. That will make it very interesting. We're definitely excited to test with it for the speedruns, of course, too. It's impossible. Guess I'm in the dark or not. So, fun fact about these guys, you can actually just stand on top there, and these guys will never attack you. It's pretty funny. It's the same with these guys. These guys down here will never attack you. They'll just never attack in general. So again, this is just an auto-scroller. It's not really much. I would talk about the story, but again, this game is still fairly new, so I don't want to spoil what's going on in the story too much for anybody that might want to pick this game up and check it out. I mean, obviously I'll talk about plot points. Oh, what the heck? Did they not kill? They just now killed the blocks? Are you kidding me? What is this sorcery? What the heck? I don't even know what happened there. I thought they killed him. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, hedgehogs need to get out of my way. You guys are always so frustrating. Oh yeah, it's pretty much just filler. So, believe it or not, guys, we're actually getting close to the final area of the game. Because we're gonna be doing a very big sequence break. It's probably the biggest sequence break in the game. So I put those guys to don't attack and for them not to do anything, because if they die, we lose time. If both of them die, then we lose time. So I need to make sure to be doing this solo. It's not like that I need them anyway. They just die, and they just usually just die in one shot anyway, so. So right now, you guys just enjoy the music while I focus on this. There's nothing really too much to talk about. It's just reiterating everything we did in the previous part of this. We get the choice of oops. Okay, I messed that up. I thought they killed it. I keep getting ahead of myself. Not even biggest savings break of the game. I actually haven't skipped too much of the game yet, actually, I would say. This is like, what the early Frabbit, I would say, is like the second biggest one. This one is by far the biggest one, I would say. Because we're going to go from the mid-game, we're going straight from the mid-game straight to the final dungeon of the game. Like, that's how big of it is. Okay, so we're going, this is the toughest boss. It's super difficult. Absolutely very, very tough. Very tough. I don't even know what to do, guys. What do I do? I don't even know. What do I do? Oh man. I'm sweating. Oh man. Oh man, I'm sweating over here. Okay, I messed up. Alright, so the actual fast strat here is literally just to have your HP at 0. So, kind of cool speed tech there. It looks like that, like all you have to do is really wait there, but actuality, if you hit the, if you go like I literally did right there, that actually kind of speeds it up by like I think it's like half a second or something. It's not even really that. All right, so is everyone ready to go from the mid game straight to the final dungeon? Because that's exactly what we're about to do. Strategic death. It's like the only time it's actually faster to die. So, something interesting. Oh, I was like, what? What happened here? I hit continue. So, something interesting here is, at least I think it's very interesting. Is that you can... I'm trying to remember how to do this strat again. Okay, so once you enter here the first time, right? You can enter again. Just double checking, making sure I'm getting this correctly. Sorry. So if we enter the first time, we already have like the trigger that, or the flag that we entered the first time. So what happens if we enter a second time? Now we're in the final dungeon of the game. So this is actually like the longest part of the run. Right here. Mainly because there's just a lot of fighting. Okay, I goofed this really hard. That's fine. It's just a lot of combat. That's pretty much why it's so long. Oh no, I messed that up. No, that's fine. It's not gonna do. So this game, okay, so the thing is about this game is it's an action RPG that's like centers around a lot of like puzzle solving. So this game is so much of a puzzle solving. The enemies in the game itself are a puzzle in of itself. That's how puzzle solving this game is. So here, this is the wrong door, first off. This is the only room we're actually going to do intended. So I think there's one other room I think we're doing intended. I think I lied to you on that. There's one other room that we'll be doing intended. The rest of them we're not. We're just skipping over. Like this one. So there's like 2 rooms that we're doing that are going to be intended. Happen to your friends? Okay, so the thing is when you enter dungeons in this game, let me actually explain this strat. This strat's actually pretty cool. So this is what's known as double dipping. What we're about to do. I'll explain what happened. What happened. Oh. so what we're going to do is we're going to... First off, I should have a werewolf stick. That's fine. That's why we buy them, is actually because of this and another fight that's coming up. Are you kidding me? Okay, so this is what's known as double dipping. So if we pretty much knock out a second one after we grab the first one, we can pretty much essentially just skip this phase completely. There we go. And so now we're going to hit at this, and so now we're going to come down here and we're going to do a save warp step. Okay, or not. Because I'm gonna mess up which door I was supposed to go through. It's okay. There we go. So, yeah, the fire turret that we fought, yeah, that's the only turret we actually have to fight. Fun fact. All the other ones can be skipped. Okay, come here. So here we got more combat. We're going to be introduced into another enemy that we were supposed to meet during the mid-game, but we unfortunately didn't see him. We don't see him till now. That's okay. He's not a fun enemy to fight anyway. I've completely butchered the strat here. That's fine though. So, this is a funny one. So this is the only one I actually knew about that you could do. I thought... So for the longest time, I actually thought this was the only turret that you could actually skip. But apparently you could just skip all of them, which is funny. That threw me off. Apparently they changed that. They used to be like auto-completed. That just threw me off. Thankfully I knew I knew how to complete it, but it's just like that really threw me off for a second. I actually usually want to kill this guy first, because he has a pretty... He's got a pretty bad, Come on. Oh my goodness, I got it! Oh goodness, I almost didn't have that. Oh goodness. Oh. Now I forget what I was talking about. Must not have been important. It's okay. Okay, so you guys remember that strat I told you about double dipping? Yeah, we're gonna apply it here again. Okay, I almost overloaded there, so it's a good thing I backed off. We're just gonna kind of just dance around this guy. So arguably, I would say it's like the most frustrating one to fight. So doing that strat I talked about, yeah, that actually saves a pretty significant time on this fight. So I kind of dance around them while they're doing their big huge attack there because I actually can't damage them while they're going through that. I can't actually attack them. I can attack them after it, but which is usually the strat. But it doesn't really save that much time, so plus if I kind of zone out by accident, that sucks. But that's the strat here. I don't need. So here, Sergey says something I totally agree with. Gotham, you've got to be joking. This is the biggest puzzle in the entire game, and it is a tough one, I would say. It's very hard to commentate during it, I would say. Looks really cool when you do it fast, though. And that's it. Whew. This puzzle took me so long too. It took me a really long time too. Like I said, it looks really cool when you do it fast, though. So this is the final gauntlet. So this is the final fight before we fight the final boss. So we're going to be basically fighting everything that we fought up to this point, all in pretty much one battle, and pretty much in basically 2 to 3 waves. It's really hard to keep up with everything. Wrong one. Let's see if I can get the one cycle again. Getting the one cycle there is actually pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't matter as much in this version or in this fight if you get the one cycle or not. Like, okay. Well, it does kind of matter when you get that. But the one thing about the 6 is the fact that right after 6, he's guaranteed to roll 5. He always rolls 5 afterwards, which means he'll he'll take increased damage. Okay. I'm just gonna reinforce it. And then he did that, of course, at the end. Okay, so something I completely forgot to do before I started this was actually do all of my circuits. So I lost a bunch of time to combat because I forgot to do circuits. Yay me. That's okay. I want to say this is better, right? Yes, better. So I'm sure the silence is very unnerving, guys, and I apologize for that. But really need to make sure I'm doing these correct. All right, that's it. All right, on to the final boss. So this has essentially, he has 16 health bars. You are not incorrectly counting that. He indeed has 16 health bars. We have to go through every single one of those to beat the final boss. But there are 2 phases of this, so it's not, we're not doing this all in one phase. Okay, he does a trick. Whatever. Okay, I still killed him. Still killed this first phase. Okay. 2. There are phase kits here, but I'm not confident enough to do them. They're not too hard per se, and they're not really gonna do too much if I don't do them. But I'm definitely not going to. I'm just not going to do them out of marathon safety. So I didn't really talk too much about circuits. So circuits in this game, if anyone here, I know there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans out there. I know there is. So look at it like the sphere grid of Final Fantasy X in a way, except you don't need spheres for it and stuff. Anyway, it's like you just need skill points instead. Okay. I shouldn't even have gotten extra phase there. If I wouldn't have gotten. Oh, I have the wrong thing open. As if. Only has a Final Fantasy Tactics name. Says he's not a Final Fantasy fan. I see how you are. Okay, so as you might tell how this fight goes, it's essentially just we're basically just trying to match the beat the color that he's essentially showing. So if he's doing fire, we need to throw ice at him. If he's throwing ice, etc., etc. Okay, I thought I was still on it for some reason. I got taken off of it. That's fine. Even if I just kind of screw this up, this should still make it fast. 1 hour estimate is like fairly high for this actually. Although this fight is extremely long. This is actually like, I would say like 90% of the final dungeon, I would say. Is pretty much this fight. Because it's just extremely long. 1, 2, let me refresh my... Yeah, so I would say like this fight right here isn't necessarily long, it's the next fight that's actually the longest fight. Yeah, it's the phase after this one is the one that's actually the long phase. Okay, well, I didn't get this guy. That's okay. So we're getting the laser. Now we're part of the laser phase. The one worthy of the ultimate experience. So if we have any people from the CrossCode, yes, post your ultimate experiences now. All right, that's phase 1. Oh, I'm like, why is this going so slow? Because I didn't match to skip it. Alright, so here, there's a bit of a RNG right at the start here. We got good RNG. It doesn't really matter, it seems like a few seconds if you get good RNG. Okay. So from here, he'll always start with a shooting phase, followed by a fist phase. Well, not always, but during these phases, he will at least. Come on, Kate. Okay, that was just. I'm not sure what was going on there. I have no idea. Usually, you can just stick on top of it and just spin and do the spiral dance, but for some reason, it wasn't letting me. So here, we're just trying to get through these very quickly. It's the next phases that take a lot longer. But, I mean, these do drag on a lot, too. But, you get the main premise of them, actually. Wow, that was really dumb. I'm just, like, failing these fights that I get there. That's funny. That was funny. I'm always kidding. You're finding a robot elephant. That's CrossCode for you. Welcome to CrossCode speedrunning. One moment you're in the beginning area, and the next moment you're fighting the final boss. That's CrossCode speedrunning in a nutshell. This game isn't very long either. Like currently, no major glitches category sits at sub 2 actually, just recently. Sub 2. It was like around 205 or 203. mean, to be fair though, like No Major Glitches also does have quite a few major like sequence breaks, but even casually, I could say you could easily beat this game in probably, I'd say, if you're not bad like me, you could probably easily finish it within like 30 to 40 hours, not counting like 100%ing it. Elephant Thanos, that's accurate. I'd say Elephant Thanos is accurate.
I mean, Slow, one question. Why are you so interested in no major glitches category? Is there a reason, like some other marathons?
Nah, no other reason. So you essentially have to go through like 2 phases here. At least one fist phase and one of the like super awesome crazy attack he did right there. Because we need to like amp up our attack here. It's pretty much the whole reason here. Oh, I don't have it. Okay, that's fine. Forgetting to buff back up. This is the phase that's really frustrating to deal with. But yeah, he'll either do one or the other. So he'll either do this attack or he'll do the other attack. Or he'll do this fast attack, or he'll do this like super awesome attack. It's RNG which one he'll start with, but he'll always start with like a shooting phase, and then do this, then go into the stack, and then he'll go into a rest mode, rinse and repeat. This is like once you pretty much understand this boss fight, it's very trivial. Like I know I had a lot of struggle with it going through my casual playthrough. But once I started getting into the speedruns, it's just like, it's extremely, I found out it was like, it's a very extremely trivial boss fight. And it's not even just because I'm like, very, like, no, it's not just because like the tutorial character is like a very hard character. This fight's just not hard in general, once you understand how it goes. I mean, I could literally, though I could literally just sit here and take 3 attacks. It's just, what's the fun in that? Oh, epilepsy warning here. Should have mentioned that before. When your damage gets starting to get like super high, it starts to kind of do this little flashing. The music is great. Okay, so here we're on to the like big, huge final attack. He's gonna like take all 4 elements and he's gonna do this big, humongous attack. He's gonna start with fire, and then he's gonna go into ice afterwards, followed by wave, and then he's gonna go into shock, and then he's gonna do all 4 attacks all at once. then he'll just kind of he'll just sit there and you just have to kill him, essentially. He'll do these attacks he'll do these attacks 3 different times each, and then he'll do one big attack. Alright, time's coming up. Time. Alright.
Overestimate by 9 seconds.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
that sucks.
Banned, by the way.
I blame it on the lag. That was a really good run. There was no way that was 9 seconds overestimate. That had to be the lag. Like, the only mistake I made is I didn't do the circuits. Other than that, it was a really good run.
9 seconds. What can you do?
I cannot go 9 seconds overestimate.
I mean, what can you do? It's like, you know.
I mean, it wasn't I didn't do anything bad. Again, minus the circuits, I don't think that was like 10 minutes worth of mistakes. Mistake worthy.
So
But,
you're saying like like the game.
right. But with that, like once a good man has said, and thus the experience is over. Hey guys, I've learned so much for checking out the marathon, checking out the run. I hope I at least convinced at least a few of you to pick up this game. It is absolutely fantastic. I cannot stress it enough how awesome and underrated this game is. Go check it out. Anyway, we're gonna go and get on the next run. Catch you guys next time.